Go.
Good morning, friends. Today we're going to make a chocolate cake. It's actually going to be a groundhog cake. So the base will be chocolate. Of course, that's the earth, and then we will have a vanilla frosting on the top. It's supposed to be symbolizing snow, and then you have to wait for the second part of this video to see what it turns out like. So let's get started with the cake. We'll begin with, we have about 1 3/4 cups of flour. I've already pre-sifted this. It's really important to sift these things. 2 cups of sugar. We're going to add that to the dry ingredients, along with 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and I think it's 2 teaspoons of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to sift. I did not pre-sift this because I kind of wanted to give you an idea of what sifting is in case you don't know. You're going to take and run it through a sort of a strainer. This is actually made for baking. This one's wonderful. The cocoa powder tends to have like chunks in it. So you want to make sure that you sift that so that your cake doesn't have these chunks of dried cocoa powder, because it's very bitter. That's why the 2 cups of sugar. Seems like a lot, but you need it to balance it out. So let's just give that a little whirl. If you have a hand mixer, same thing. Just give it a whirl to kind of mix it up. That looks good. That's not complicated. But now we're going to add the liquid ingredients. So we're going to start with 1 cup of buttermilk. And to that we're going to add just a half of a cup of veg oil. Canola oil, whatever you want to use. And to that we will also add a liquid, the 2 eggs, and I've already beat the eggs so that they would mix in really easily. This is a pretty simple recipe, especially when you have everything set up for you. And then we have 1 teaspoon of good vanilla. That's our liquid, and this is what makes this cake so simple. We're going to just add the liquid right into the flour on low, because you don't want it spattering all over the place. So once it gets fairly well mixed, let's get that mixed up. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more, and you'll see a change in the batter. I'll let you get a close-up of that. That's looking really good. It kind of looks like a brownie batter at this point. So we add the last ingredient, which is 1 cup of hot coffee. So I just brewed this coffee, and I think we have some coffee lovers out there, so you won't mind adding a little bit of coffee to this. It really kind of kicks up the flavor of the chocolate. So I'm going to add the hot cocoa. Probably I should have turned that down just a little bit, because now it is quite liquidy. But don't be afraid of it. All right, let's give the sides a little scrape down. Just make sure everything is mixing in. And make sure to turn the mixer off when you scrape down. Nobody wants to get their fingers caught. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I'm going to give it another minute or two. Another few seconds. It doesn't need that long to mix. It's a pretty simple cake. All right. In the meanwhile, I have taken a 13 by 9 inch pan that I greased and floured. You can use 2 rounds if you want to use rounds. You can even make cupcakes out of this. It's cake batter is cake batter. So it'll do whatever, it'll fit to whatever you want. But those are about the measurements. So this would have been 2 8-inch rounds, or so that you could have a layer cake, or this 13 by 9. I'm doing the 13 by 9 because of the way I want to decorate it. All right, I think we're good here. I'm going to lift this up. Let me take this off so it doesn't make a mess on us. Okay, then you take the batter, and you're going to spoon the batter right into your prepared pan. Yep, that's our cake batter. And it's all nice and mixed. Good job. No problems there. We have our cake batter. I'm just gonna tap it a few times to get the air bubbles out. It looks really good. I'm going to stick this in the 350 degree oven for approximately 35 to 40 minutes. And I'll see you when it's done. Welcome back. So I baked this cake, this wonderful chocolate cake, for about 40 minutes at 350. And I tested it with a toothpick to make sure it's done, and it is. I decided I would just get it, the frosting on here to save a little bit of time. I'll give you the recipe for the frosting. That'll be on the website. It's just a buttercream frosting, but we wanted to simulate kind of a snowy look, so that's why I'm adding actually some shredded coconut. I like the look of it, and I also love the flavor. You don't have to do this if you don't like coconut. It's not a big deal. Just gives it a little extra oomph. Now I have my little cutout of my groundhog. This is Punxsutawney fill, right? Punxsutawney fill. So the idea is, I found this online. You can draw one, do whatever you want. I just like the look of this guy. He was very friendly. The only thing he's missing is a top hat, but I could add that later. And I just taped a couple toothpicks to the back so it would stick. So we're going to put it into the cake, and I'm doing it longwise because I want to make his shadow. So now I take this cocoa powder, and I have it in a very fine sieve. And I'm just going to sort of shake it out. I realize this is where I'm going to put him. I have the holes there. So I want to shake out just enough to sort of look like his shadow is out in front of him. And it won't be absolutely perfect, but I have mine at an angle because the sun is coming from this direction. So anyway, here we go. Punxsutawney Phil has seen his shadow, and that's our Groundhog Day cake. I think it's adorable. I think it's kind of fun and it's kitschy, but have a good time doing it. In the meanwhile, let's give this wonderful cake a try. I'm just going to cut a little corner piece. Wow. I want to see what the texture's like. Using buttermilk and then adding that coffee at the end. What a treat. Wow. I'm pleased with the texture. Look at this cake. It's super moist. Wow. And it rose beautifully. So, give it a taste. Oh my God. Excellent. Oh yeah, I think it's going to go pretty quickly at your house. So enjoy making it, and I'll see you on Thursday and we'll have a chat.